Welcome back to the Literary Apothecary. My name is Kate, and today I'm here to talk about The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. Now, this is a fantasy, horror, science fiction book. It is a very, very unique book compared to anything I've ever read before. I don't know that there is something just like this. I read this because this was a book sent by my friend Sharon. We were supposed to do like this whole series of magical library reads. We never got around to that. I think we did like one with the Ink and Bone, first book in that series. I also had this on Audible, and it was going away from my library in the middle of August, so I wanted to get it done before then. I got through most of it before I went away from Audible, and then I picked up the audio from my library and finished the rest through an immersion read. My general thoughts about this book is that this was a challenging book to read, but the writing was good. It was challenging because the writing was so good. On purpose, it was challenging. It felt like it was intentionally enigmatic, and I was intrigued by the characters and the magic. There were just so many twists and turns that I never expected. So, a spoiler-free description of what this book is all about. Carolyn's not so different from the other human beings around her. She's sure of it. She likes guacamole and cigarettes and steak. She knows how to use a phone, and she even remembers what clothes are for. After all, she was a normal American herself, once. That was a long time ago, of course, before the time she calls Adoption Day, when she and a dozen other children found themselves being raised by a man they learned to call Father. Father could do strange things. He could call light from darkness. Sometimes he raised the dead. And when he was disobeyed, the consequences were terrible. In the years since Father took her in, Carolyn hasn't gotten out much. Instead, she and her adopted siblings have been raised according to Father's ancient Palapi customs. They've studied the books in his library and learned some of the secrets behind his equally ancient power. Sometimes they've wondered if their cruel tutor might secretly be God. Now, Father is missing, and if God truly is dead, the only thing that matters is who will inherit his library, and with it, power over all of creation. As Carolyn gathers the tools she needs for the battle to come, fierce competitors for this prize align against her. But Carolyn can win. She's sure of it. What she doesn't realize is that her victory may come at an unacceptable price, because in becoming a god, she's forgotten a great deal about being a human. Now, let's jump into my call pile categories here. Of course, since I did immersion read, we have 8 categories here, one for each kind of major part of what makes up a book, a fictional book. So first, our characters. Some characters I loved more as I kept reading. Others weren't great people, it didn't feel like, and or were just harder to read than other characters. Our atmosphere and setting kept me grounded this whole entire book. And I loved that we got to see the library. There's so many times in fantasy books where there's a magical library, but you don't really get to see it or explore it. And in this book, we got to see it and explore it a little bit, although, of course, I always want more magical libraries. Writing style. It was challenging. I can't really explain why it was challenging to me. I just know that for me personally, and where my brain power was at the time of reading this, it was challenging for me. But it was still so good. It's challenging in a good way, not in a this is bad writing kind of way. Our plot. I never saw that ending coming. That ending was so wild to me. Intrigue. I was intrigued to the very last page. I kept reading to see when we were going to find this library, what's going to happen to these characters, and how and when and who. And then by the last couple chapters, I kept reading to see how it was all going to end. Logic. It didn't all make sense to me, but I also don't know if it was all supposed to make sense. It it still felt, even though some things were explained, that the characters knew more than us, the readers, did, and so that's why some things didn't quite make sense to me. Enjoyment. I enjoyed reading it, and I'm glad that I did, but it's probably a book that I won't ever reread because I feel like I've understood as much as I'm going to, and rereads won't really help that, and I've got hundreds of other books here at home that need to be read also. So our audiobook narrator was Hillary Huber, and Huber's reading pace was a little bit slow for my liking, so I had to speed her up a little bit, but there were times when her narration definitely kept me reading. So that is my spoiler-free review for The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. If you have read this book before, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of this book? Did you love it like I did, or was it too challenging for you? As always, keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.